because Mitsuki is the only one who seems to recognize her name, this is possibly indicating that he's heard it before, potentially through Orochimaru. Another clue surfaces in Chapter 7 of Two Blue Vortex, where Boruto references Mitsuki's search for a son. Boruto only learned this after the time skip, and it's likely he was informed by either Kashin Koji or Orochimaru. So I don't think that's true. I think it is just they're taking anime knowledge, just like they did in the OW arc with the
No, because
No.
I discussed this in the video too. Mitsuki never explains to this degree the stuff Boruto's saying. The only thing Mitsuki says is, "You're my son. You're my son. You're my son. It's because you're my son." He doesn't explain what the son is, and Boruto starts saying a bunch of stuff that's like in the one-shot chapter that Mitsuki just doesn't say in the anime ever. So he has extended knowledge, which can only come from either if Kashi Koji told him through his 10 directions Shinjutsu, and for some reason this is important. That one's kind of silly because maybe it is, but it's also like, if it's not, why would Kashi Koji care? Like, so that only makes sense if Mitsuki's son thing becomes important in the future, which I'm fine with, obviously.
Well, it's obviously going to come.
Or Orochimaru or Log would have had to have told him.
So
would be the only other possibility.
I think it's a little bit ignorant just to shout out any other possibility by saying it can only come from that and that it is an extension of knowledge. I think there's multiple possibilities. First of all, it's the story thing where the author's just giving the character information that they can't have.
Yeah, I know,
like,
but like in universe,
I'm just getting that one out of the way. I'm just getting that out of the way. So an actual, because it's like the least one that I want to cover. An actual explanation would be that Boruto is just inferring what Mitsuki's talking about. So he doesn't directly know, but he's a smart character. He can make the assumption of what Mitsuki is meaning. I think it's pretty fair.
Yeah,
like,
but
if the audience can do
some,
that.
like, too specific stuff. Like, he's too accurate.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe. I don't think he's accurate, but I don't think he's specific. I think he's pretty broad in the things he's saying. Like, it's pretty easy to infer what a son could be. So you could say it's like a lucky guess, but I feel like Boruto's
I guess
he spent a lot of time
but
with
that's
Mitsuki.
so boring.
I disagree. I think it's interesting when a character sort of acts dumb, but deep down they're actually smart. Like Ben 10 has a line that indicates this. In fact, I could probably find that line, but going to...
From the point of the manga point of view, the concept of the sun is not even discussed in part 1. Also, Mitsuki not only mentions the sun, and the manga continuity does not consider anime continuity.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's plenty of blatant contradictions to prove that one, as we've already discussed Mitsuki's character arc to the anime one, so clearly Ikimoto does not care. But yeah, like, it is true though. The first mention of the Mitsuki sun thing in the Boruto manga is actually Boruto Two Blue Vortex Chapter 1, because the Mitsuki one-shot's not a Boruto manga thing, and then it's just not in Boruto Part 1.
Well, I think ideas like this can apply to Boruto. It especially applies to Naruto, but it applies to Ben from Ben 10 as well. So Ben says, they don't think I'm paying attention, but I am. As we know, Naruto acted out a lot to get attention. He was acting dumb, but he is actually smarter than that, even if it is his personality. At least in Part 1, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Here, Ben says, the same thing. People think I'm not paying attention, but I am. Though often perceived as unintelligent because of his immaturity and constant joking, Ben is cunning and resourceful when needed, quickly adapting when the Omnitrix, that's his wrist watch thing, doesn't provide him with the alien he wanted. He has once admitted that people assume he's not paying attention, but he actually is.
Okay.
And
but Boruto's smarts are inconsistent in the manga anyway, because some scenes he's a complete idiot, doesn't know what anything is, and they use him as like the Naruto character to where he's dumb and they gotta explain things to him. And then other times he's supposed to be the super smart genius that knows everything. So
yeah, well, that's more so in Shippuden and more so Gag, if anything. But I think this works for
I'm talking about Boruto.
No, I know, but well, okay, whatever. I think this line works as well. So Ben says, "You think I don't know?" ? When it's hero time, if I mess up, somebody could die. From what you told me, if we mess up this time, everybody could die. maybe that's too much to have in your head when you have to win. Maybe if I pretend everything is a big joke, when the time comes, I'll be able to do what I have to do. And you can apply that to his character throughout the whole series. He is actually mature, even though he acts immature. And you can apply that to especially Naruto, but also to Boruto. So even if Boruto like feigns knowing what the sun is, it's more like of an uncomfortable thing. Like people don't want to say directly what's truthfully on their mind exactly, so they'll just like skirt around the topic. People do this all the time with everything. They have to like truly confront themselves for their real selves to come out. It's like a screenwriting thing.
No, but like, man, I just want Orochimaru to be involved. That's all I'm asking.
Even in Naruto, or sorry, even in Boruto, Naruto does this. Naruto tells Boruto, right now, I can kind of understand why people had given me such cold stares. I'm sure that they were afraid. Why wouldn't they be? I was a brat who couldn't control himself, who also had the power to destroy the village. So there you go. Like that's Naruto doing some self-reflection on the village and why they hated him in general. He understands that.
I was wondering where you were getting these from. It's a melody. Yeah, that's funny.
Of course it is. Yeah. Anyways, so there you go. But yeah, no, I understand. You want it to be an Orochimaru thing. I'm giving you a interpretation of where it isn't to where it's actually an interpretation that would be good and worthwhile. I think it's...
Yeah, but also you got to consider, though, this is Two Blue Vortex. Are they going to write it that way?
Okay, I understand, but I want Boruto to actually be a good character, and I think this is something he should be able to figure out on his own based on his bond with
the other problem, though, is that this isn't in the manga in part 1, so like that still sucks because if you're gonna do this, you're gonna have those "You're my son" lines in part 1 so that you could say, okay, Boruto was listening when he said that.
Yes.
But if it's not in your stupid fucking manga, it's just like I
agree.
The way they do this, bro.
But again, that's okay. That's a problem with the manga, not with the story or Boruto's character, which is what I'm talking about.
There's no problem for manga.
Yeah.
There's no problem with the manga.
Yeah, no, it is a problem with the manga, but that's a different topic at that point. Because I'm talking about Boruto's character here, not the manga.
Well, you're talking about his anime character.
Let me put it to you this way. You wouldn't like it if Naruto wasn't like this. Because imagine if Naruto had to be told that even though Sasuke's never said it, you and him are friends. No, it's better if Naruto knows it despite never having said it.
Very different.
It's not different.
I understand what you're saying. I guess it's part of this is because... Well, there's two things. One is just looking at it from the manga perspective and what's been done in the manga, what they're doing in the manga now. I can't shake that out of my mind. If the manga didn't exist or if it just was a carbon copy of the anime, this would be very different, obviously. And the other aspect is the bias towards Orochimaru being involved. I understand.
There you go.
I know, it's pretty funny.
Well,
it's really funny. One day.
Yeah. All I want to say with Boruto's character is that I think, like Naruto, I think he should be able to pick up on small but significant social cues about others and able to... Oh.
He's done it in the anime.
That's my light
multiple times.
Oh, well, my power might go out any second from the rain, but okay. It's constantly flickering. Okay, well, anyway.
Well, good thing we finished point 8. Yeah. But, well, anyway, like you said, though, Boruto's done that a bunch of times in the anime.
Exactly, and that's when he gets serious, which is different from his normal bright kid personality, because Boruto, as we know, wants to be cool. He doesn't want to be uncomfortable. He doesn't want to be in this serious, real situation, unlike in Two Blue Vortex, where he's not afraid to be like this, because he is like this, like, all the time. So it makes more sense for this version of his character to be like this and to say these things. Even though Boruto from part 1 didn't say it, he might have been thinking it.
Yeah, again, like, I know I keep saying this and I know it's not your point, but just to say it again, the problem is these scenes don't exist in part 1, so it's just, you just can't do that. It's just like, imagine hypothetically, so, you know, when Naruto says, even though we never said it, you and I are friends, let's just pretend Sasuke just isn't in the first several chapters. He's just not in the Naruto manga until the Sasuke retrieval arc. It's just kind of like, what?
No, I get that. Yeah. Like, I feel like the point here is that you're wanting Kashin, Koji, and Orochimaru to be in the story, and here's one way to do it. I agree. I want them to be in the story, obviously. I feel like you should do it a different way, because I wouldn't like if Boruto had to be told this for him to figure it out.
I agree. But again, because the manga is the way it is in part 1, if Mitsuki said those things in part 1, I would be 100% on your side. Because he doesn't say that, now I'm just like stuck in the middle to where, well, it's gonna be bad either way. Well, at least this way gets manga. More Orochimaru.
Okay, I see that.
And we both enjoy this. This is good.
For sure. Okay, so one more thing I'll say on this Boruto thing, since I know I keep constantly going back to this, but to be fair, I feel like this isn't about him saying this specific thing to Mitsuki. This is more so about Boruto as a character, and I am looking at the anime for this more than the manga, but I feel like you can it's more about Boruto's behavior or characterization in general, and how in general he applies. So you would look at how he acts with, say, Tento or Kawaki, or even Sumire in the manga maybe, but especially obviously in the anime, to where he's saying things to characters that have never told him things that he himself has just deduced just by watching them or being around them based on their bond or their friendship or relationship or whatever, especially in the anime. And so you could imply that to Boruto's character, which is also still there in the manga, especially through Kawaki, and you can apply it to his character, which applies to any character he interacts with, which would include Mitsuki. Even though it was off screen, you could have that be implied. So rather than just saying it happened because of the anime, you can imply it happened based on his characterization, because we know that he hangs out with Mitsuki in the manga. So
and I agree with that. And you can also just... Mitsuki doesn't do as much of the watching over Boruto stuff, but like you can just say that it's fine, but like...
I feel like especially, like, you should watch the Squid Games arc when Boruto really steps up to lead everyone to survival, even at the risk of his own survival. I feel like that arc in particular, when he's talking to Oga at the end as well, just everyone he talks to in that arc, since it's a survival thing, I think that you can really tell Boruto's character pretty easily there, because I feel like that's a really good character study for Boruto. You need to watch that arc.
And I need to just watch that arc already. I think... it's that Sasuke Retsuden, and then officially watching the Code arc.